Welcome to SveNFL.
What's up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
Excuse me, sorry.
And we're two Americans living in Sweden talking about football. Yeah, man. It's that time, man. You know what time it's not time for? I'll put that in those of you that know about our emergency thing. That we got a new sound, the emergency siren, man. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Ready.
We've 2 weeks in a row we've been forced to do an emergency pod, so we'll see.
I'm ready for some news about Doug Peterson.
I don't think
You don't think Shad's gonna pull the what's his name? Sean?
Shad Khan. No,
Shad
I don't
Khan.
think he'll do it this week. I think if he hadn't done it by now, he won't do it.
Because Urban Meyer didn't make it the whole year, right?
No, exactly. Urban Meyer only made it 11 games,
Okay.
I think.
All right. So we haven't reached enough is enough mode, but we'll get into it. This is the SveNFL reaction to Week 6, and it's in the books. I want to say something to you, Skiff.
Okay.
And I want to say a thing to us as a podcast. Shame on us.
Uh-oh.
Shame on us.
Uh-oh.
What we should be doing, we believe in our podcast. We believe in our voices and our opinions on football. We trust each other. If we really trusted each other enough, we would bet on our picks. On our weekly, like the ones we put out there, our flip 'em, pick 'em. Because if people are doing that, then they'll do well. They'll do well. Normally in flip 'em, pick 'em, we do all right, man. We do all right. Sometimes we do. But I'm scrolling through. The best we did this season, we only missed 3 games. If people would have bet on our picks on week 1, then we would have hit all games except for 3. If people would have bet on our picks on week 6, this past week, we got every fucking game right for the first time ever.
Shit, I didn't realize that. I'm just looking at it right now.
None of us got anything wrong. I looked at it. It's great. Like the guy, I forget who his name that made our spreadsheet, and I appreciate you. I'm sorry, brother, that I forgot your name, but it turns green on the spreadsheet, and I look and I just see all green all the way down in results. It just shows green all the way down.
Yeah, because you went first.
Yeah. And it's
And
just
we
green
just-
all the way down.
Like between the two of us, you and I just picked every win.
Every game right.
Wow.
And that's not to say that in Pigskin Pick'em I got them all right, because I didn't agree with you on everything, of course, and you didn't agree with me on everything on Pigskin Pick'em. But in the show, we got every single one right when we alternated our picks. So if somebody would have done a parlay, a 14-piece parlay, they would have made a lot of money if there's anybody out there that's just picking on all of our games. And why aren't we doing that?
I know it's a great
Shame on
question.
us.
I mean, we're out here just creating a modern day football version of Ebony and Ivory coming together in perfect harmony.
Yes.
I mean, it's crazy. It's funny. I did not notice that until you pointed it out.
I
That's
could not
crazy.
believe it, man. And so this is why, because normally I get up in the morning on my routine Tuesday morning. If it's not my team playing on a Monday night game, as you know, I get up early Tuesday morning and I watch the entire Monday night game. This morning, I was so excited that I didn't. I just watched basically highlights and I cut forward to the end. I saw some chunks of the game, but I was like, let me see who won this fucking game. I need to see who won this fucking game, because if the Jets would have upset the Bills, we would have missed it. We would have missed one game. So I just had to figure it out, and I fast forwarded to the end of the game, and the Bills pulled it out, which made it to where we got every single game right. So that's just, those of you that follow our gambling, you should go check it out as well on Patreon and see all of our actual bets. But this one is one we didn't bet, but we should have. And from now on, I'm going to put a little small bet on us getting the Ebony Ivory Harmony bet.
Maybe we should replace the cat. I feel like we never hit the can't miss parlay ever.
No.
Maybe we should replace it with the
Ebony Ivory Harmony bet.
Yeah. Embody the change you want to see in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm with it. I got one last thing before we get started that I saw on the train on the way here. And some people might think I'm just a mean, grumpy man.
Yeah.
But I saw a mother and daughter walk onto the subway on the subway car that I was on. And the mother was carrying her stuff and also carrying a little breakfast, little rice pack thing, the Reese Fruity. And then the daughter was empty-handed and standing there, and then they stood because the train was full, and the daughter was holding the bar, and the mother's carrying all her shit, holding the Reese Fruity. Then she scoops up, and the daughter had to be like 7, 8 years old, maybe something like that. The mother's scooping up and feeding her daughter on the train car, and the daughter's sitting there just opening her mouth, eating the food, waiting more. So the mother scoops up more, and it was bothering the shit out of me, man. I was sitting there being grumpy.
I get it.
Let your kid feed herself. Man. I don't know, man.
I had one of these moments last night. I went out last night. I saw the premiere of that Swedish show, Gåsmamman. And I was on my way home, and this lady has her dog, like a black Labrador. Yeah. So not a small dog, kind of a regular. It's not huge, but it's not small. It's a regular sized dog. She gets on the train. She also has a ton of shit, and she pulls out a blanket, puts it on the seats so that the dog can jump up and sit on the blanket. And then she proceeded to sit there and talk to her dog like it was a human being. The entire, are you comfortable? Are you okay?
Oh, no.
I was like,
oh, no.
I'm sitting there with a buddy of mine, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm so distracted by how fucking whatever. Yeah. I know there's a lot of dog people in the world. I'm not one of them.
No, you're not.
And I really don't understand it. It's a little bit of an ick for me when people treat their dogs like they're people.
Yeah. Somebody told me at a show that she was a dog mom, and I almost threw up on stage.
I mean, if you treat your dog, you treat your dog like people. I don't tend to hang out with people who need me to pick up their shit with my hand. I just don't.
Best friend my ass.
I don't, that's just not something.
Yeah.
If you had this thing where we're like, hey, whenever we will go out
for
a walk.
I'm going to pee on the tree, and sometimes I'm going to shit. You got to pick it up.
I'm going to drop this load, and I'm going to need you to bring some plastic bags so you can pick it up. I would stop hanging out with you. I would be like, I really like Jonathan, but I don't think I want to pick up his shit. He's got this quirk. He's got this thing where he just I'm out.
But those of you that are, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad I'm not the only grouch. But yeah, I was just like, people, come on, stop curling the fuck out of your kids, all right? Let your kid learn how to carry their own shit and eat. And I know, I'm guessing that there was a rant at home or something where the girl didn't eat her breakfast. So now, because you didn't eat your breakfast, you got to sit there and eat this shit on the train and figure it out. All right. Those that are following our bets know that we had another successful Thursday night.
Oh yeah,
with our parlay that hit again, and it was really fun to watch that too. But the Seahawks lose to the 49ers to open up the week.
They did. It was 36-24. 49ers were up 16-3 at the half, and they tried to let the Seahawks back into the game as they so frequently do. But to their credit, they kept their foot on the gas. They stayed one step ahead of the Seahawks, and they snatched what was a very important divisional win. Think about this. The sliding doors in this scenario, if the 49ers lose this game, they would have been 0-3 in the division, and the Seahawks would have had a 2-game lead over everyone in the NFC West.
Wow.
So this was kind of quietly a must-win game for them. This was extremely important. Yeah. I mean, the other interesting story about this game is that it had been spoken about quite a bit that this team had gone from last year being the number one team in yards after the catch to this year being the worst team in yards after the catch. But not in this game. They turned that around in this game for sure. They looked like the 49ers of last year. You had big Debo plays. You had big plays, just Kittle again. What an important piece of the puzzle he is right now.
Had you heard of Isaac Guerendo?
I had not heard of Isaac Guerendo. And again, he does this thing. I mean, it's like,
who's he?
Kind of Mr. Shanahan.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I assume, I honestly don't know who deserves the credit for it. I mean, people will say he's built this, perfect system where any running back can thrive inside of it. Maybe that's true. I have no idea.
Don't they say it's the blocking scheme?
Sure.
Zone blocking scheme?
But does he? I don't know. I don't know. I'd be really honest. I just don't know enough about football to know if he deserves credit for that or if it's somebody else.
It's got to be him. It's been a consistent thing for him, and he's losing coaches every year too. So
it's true. He does.
And it's also his father is the one who was originally the one who was thought to be that guy to do that. Because remember, Terrell Davis came out of nowhere and all of a sudden was MVP of the league.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
In that scheme, man. Because nobody had done that zone blocking, where you block in an area. It's normally block a man until Mike Shanahan. So, yeah, man.
It's pretty. I have to admit, it's very impressive the way that they managed to do that. So yeah, big win for them.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks, I think. Maybe getting
earth, right?
a little exposed, right?
Yeah,
they look great coming out of the gate, and now they've lost 2 in a row or 3 in a row. I can't remember.
I think it's 2 in a row. Well, they started off pretty hot. It might be 3.
I think it'll be interesting. Next week it's a bird battle: Seahawks versus Falcons.
Ooh!
You got two.
It started already.
You got 2 teams that like. You can't quite figure out exactly what they are yet. You kind of think you know who they are, but maybe, I don't know. It's like, it'll be interesting to see 2 teams with a lot of question marks playing against each other.
But they are who we thought they were.
We'll see.
The Jags were ready. There is the Bears home game officially, but the Jags, they're at home in London. So I was expecting them to come out and mop the floor with the Bears.
Right. Yeah. That did not happen. This game took a minute to get interesting.
Yeah.
It was a slow start for both teams. But that Cole Kmet touchdown, the first one especially, was just so delightfully violent. Smashing into a guy, and then all of a sudden, I don't know. Did you watch this game closely?
Yeah. I was watching from. I had to go. I had a gig in Gotland, so I watched this and ran in and missed some of the beginning.
By a country mile, the craziest thing about this game was the fact that Cole Kmet catches a touchdown and then he has to turn around and be the fucking long snapper. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Step aside, Taysom Hill. Swiss Army knife.
He couldn't even fully celebrate. That's what they said. He wanted to celebrate more. He's like, no, you got to do long snapping.
He caught another touchdown pass. You got 2 touchdown after that first touchdown. I feel like Caleb Williams really settled into the game and started to look quite impressive.
Yeah.
He threw 2 touchdown passes to Keenan Allen. The final touchdown, obviously, my man, former Bulldog DeAndre Swift, who had over 100 all-purpose yards. The Jags were so bad that we got a late game garbage time return of the Mac sighting.
Oh, really?
Yes, he got sacked. It's fourth and
for
14.
real? It's a real deal then.
Yeah.
He always come in and have something bad. Remember he sacked fumble immediately.
Yeah.
We got to get it in because he probably won't be in the league that long. So we got to get all
Jags. The Jags just could not really move the ball very well, especially on the ground. They couldn't run. Travis Etienne. I know that he got hurt, Travis Etienne, but it's like he had his stat line is so depressing. 3 carries for -1 yards. It's like, ugh. But
Bigsby had a nice kick return, but that was kind of it, man. He has a burst. I like watching him run, but it was not it. It wasn't the day today. I mean, Sunday. And I was wondering if we were going to see some breaking news, but not yet.
Look, a lot of people are on this. Trevor Lawrence is not a generational talent and all that kind of stuff, and that's probably true.
Historical numbers.
That being
he's
said,
got the same. He has one more win than Robert Saleh in the same amount of time.
Yeah,
you never talk about 20 and 36 or whatever, and Trevor Lawrence is 21 and 35.
I do think that T-Law is a good quarterback, and I think he would thrive on a more functional football team for sure. Was he overrated as a generational talent? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's still
that last pick he threw. It was like we see that too often.
Yeah.
I see him like he throws a like I said, honeypot, one of the best honeypot balls, but can't live off of that. It's like he does it's like boneheaded stuff sometimes, and we've already pumped the brakes on the generational, but now it's just like, is he a good quarterback?
I mean, my takeaway from this is that the Jags are not serious people, and the Bears are the real deal. We'll see how it goes, but we've said it every week. They just get a little bit better, which is great. One team that does not get better every week is the Arizona Cardinals. It's like one week it's like, whoa, and next week it's like, you don't really know what the hell they're going to do next. Very tough day for the Cardinals on this one. They couldn't do nothing right. 3 fumbles, 13 penalties for 100 yards. Only 4 out of 10 on third downs. They were awful. Jordan Love looked great.
Yes.
4 touchdown passes he threw.
That one pass, it was underthrown or whatever, but off his back foot, falling, throws the ball, and then the receiver adjusts for the touchdown, and it was 3rd and long or whatever. It was, man.
I think he threw passes to 9 different receivers in this game.
Man, this dude,
which is always good to see.
Yeah, I liked him since college when they were talking about how raw of a talent he was, and it's coming together nicely under LaFleur.
Packers defense is fantastic. Also, I think I remember them saying on the broadcast they have multiple turnovers in every game this year.
Damn.
Nice. I mean, they held James Conner to only 24 yards rushing.
Well, when you're blowing them out like that, then they gotta.
Romeo Doubs was out of the doghouse, right? He missed last week because he was, throwing his toys on the floor. But he comes back this week and
balling.
I mean, most people who follow the team closely say that Jordan Love and Romeo Doubs like they're like best friends. So I don't know what the fuck he was complaining about, but whatever. He got 2 touchdown catches in this one, so I guess all is forgiven.
Those that are following our bets will know that I was adamant about Will Levis coming out and throwing for more than 190 yards. I was ready. I put it on our can't miss parlay. I was so certain that this Colts defense, which has been giving up yards to quarterbacks all season, would meet their match when Will Levis would show us that he's that dude. And he came out and threw for a whopping 95 yards. What happened? I was over here. I was
rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
The fuck, Will? Will?
This whole game was a very forgettable affair.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to talk much about it, but I did want to bring up that Will Levis.
I mean, my main takeaway was like, how long are we supposed to pretend that Will Levis is an NFL quarterback?
Yeah.
like you said, 16 for 27, 95 yards, 1 touchdown, a tailor-made Will Levis pick. Tony Pollard looked good, but that's about all of the nice things I can say about the Titans, to be honest. Wasn't a really great day for Joe Flacco either.
I mean, it's old Joe, smoking Joe.
Yeah, but he proved that there was only one grown-ass man on the field.
Yeah.
A good but not great performance.
Yeah.
I assume, the reports were that Anthony Richardson was going to play in this game.
Yes, that's why I picked the Titans to win.
Me too. It's also why I benched. I think I had Josh Downs.
But in Flip 'em Pick 'em, you picked the Colts.
Well, I think because when we did that, I thought Joe Flacco was starting.
Yeah.
And then we found out later. Yeah.
Okay.
They're obviously going to go back to Richardson next week, I think.
Oof, against the Dolphins, man. I'm so happy.
So we'll see. That'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But the Colts, you can't take the Colts seriously. They're a weird football team.
The fact that they're going to put Richardson back in is proof. So, but you know what? I'm a hater of all the teams in my division besides my team, but I was very happy for Drake May getting a start. And then I was happy for his first touchdown. They got blown out, but I was happy for his first touchdown pass, which was a beauty. And that's all you can hope for, man.
They did. They got blown out 41-21, but you're right. He looked good. He had, three touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah.
Which is, that's a rookie stat line.
More than 95 yards.
Right. Will Levis, did you see that? More than 95 yards. They really could not run the ball. I mean, Drake May was their leading rusher. I know that wasn't part of the game script for them. They just couldn't get anything going on the ground. And, the turnovers don't help, obviously.
But the Texans show what you do, man. You go on, you see an opponent's, you take away the best thing they could do, and in the Patriots' case, is run the ball. The Texans took it away, and they made Drake May try to beat them, and then they win by 20 points. They're just
Meanwhile, the Texans, who have looked a little less than convincing for the last couple of weeks, showed that Joe Mixon really was the missing piece of the puzzle. This guy comes back. He hasn't played since week 1. He comes back, pops off 102 yards, scores a touchdown. He scored 2 touchdowns. One of them was a receiving touchdown. He was fantastic.
Yep.
And, just ran all over the Patriots. Stroud is cooking with his other 2 receivers in the absence of
Nico.
In the absence of Nico Collins. Stephon Diggs had a touchdown. Tank Dell had a touchdown. Everything was kind of clicking for the Texans.
Good right game.
But, it turns out Patriots were right. They needed to just keep starting this guy, let him develop, let him learn. Perhaps this team is not going to be so irrelevant for the rest of the season after all. Obviously, they're not going to – they're not a relevant playoff team, but yeah.
Take his lumps. The team's rebuilding. Let him take his lumps. He took 4 sacks, but he's all right.
I think Will Anderson Jr. got 3 of them. As a beast.
Yeah. Oof. All these blowouts, man.
Speaking of irrelevant teams. Okay. Bucs Saints. Bucs win 51-27, right? Mm-hmm. Bucs drop a 50 burger on the Saints. Mm. This game was really 3 games in one game. There were literally 3 blowouts inside of one game. Okay. Yeah. So first quarter, the Bucs go up 17-0. It looks like game's over.
Yeah.
And then in the second quarter alone, the Saints scored 27 points.
Crazy.
They outscore the Bucs 27-7 in the second quarter. The Saints would not score another point for the rest of the game.
I'll see you. I'll match your 27.
And then the Bucs outscored the Saints in the second half at 27-0. Bizarre.
Yeah.
Very bizarre. 27 points in one quarter. That's
crazy.
I mean,
Because Baker got a little frisky and he was trying to force it a bit.
You need interceptions to make that happen, and that's exactly what happened. Baker threw 4 touchdown passes, but he threw 3 interceptions. Spencer Rattler looked pretty good in the first half until Todd Bowles started to send the house in the second half, and then it got ugly. He was like, okay, fuck this. We're rushing this kid. And then it started to unravel from there. Alvin Kamara didn't do much. The Bucs managed to get 136 yards rushing out of Sean Tucker, who I've never even heard of. So good for him.
Man, the NFC South is like,
I was, I'm not going to lie. I was actually, it was weird. Like my heart wanted the Bucs to beat the Saints. Mm-hmm. But my head was like, it's better for us if the Saints win, actually.
Yeah.
So I was kind of excited when they took the lead, and but then it all unraveled. Anyway.
Speaking of unraveling.
Yes.
The Cleveland Browns out here, man, Deshaun Watson is not the answer. I don't know, man. 16 for 23, 168 yards. He looked better than he's looked, I guess. But no touchdowns still. I don't know, man. They just look like a lost team out there. They're playing the Eagles in what seems like it was get righter game. Because they kept it close. It was like defensive struggle, and then they pulled it out in the end.
Deshaun Watson, he had a stretch in the beginning of the game where he was I think 11 for 11. Mm-hmm. He was perfect. And it was like, oh, okay, we'll see. It was not a pretty game for either team. Yeah. Obviously the return of AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith was a big difference. Some of those AJ Brown catches were unreal.
Yeah, the touchdown.
That was beautiful. The Browns defense shut down Saquon. The only significant points the Browns were capable of scoring came from a Myles Garrett blocked punt that got returned for a touchdown. I don't know. It must be. Browns fans have been through so much they're one of those franchises that if you happen to be born into this, tough.
Yeah.
So many horrible things have happened to the fans of the Cleveland Browns, including watching your team move away and win a Super Bowl as the Ravens. And now you got to put up with this bullshit. It's like,
and play the Ravens twice a year,
and play the team that left you twice a year, who is like by far probably the best team in the league right now.
Yeah, just it's got to say.
Browns are 1-5. They have a minus 46 point differential.
Ooh.
To me, this is a 5-alarm fire. And yet Kevin Stefanski, yes, thank you. And yet Kevin Stefanski steps in front of the microphone every week. They ask him the same question, and he says, Deshaun Watson is our starter. He gives us the best chance to win. I don't know how much longer you can say that and expect us to take you seriously.
He sounds like it's like Brandon Staley, but there's no way he's not the wrong coach.
I don't think it's him. I don't.
Yeah, I know it's not. I know it's.
I think he's obviously carrying water for the owner. I just wish. I wish for his own sake. I think he would. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's really tough, actually, because I hear a lot of people saying he should speak his mind. Problem is that we don't pay Kevin Stefanski. We don't, like, we the fans and we don't pay Kevin Stefanski's salary, right? And not only will he probably get fired from the Browns if he speaks his mind.
Yeah.
There is a chance
immediately.
Yeah, but will he? That's the thing.
He would get hired immediately by a better organization.
Maybe, but think about how these owners can circle the wagon sometimes.
Oh yeah, and like
When
blackball somebody.
when
You
they
don't think
circle,
Jerry Jones will be like, "Hey, I'll take Stefanski over McCarthy"?
yeah, but sometimes these owners,
Stefanski's been on company line the whole time so far, and then for him to
sometimes
finally
these,
go against it.
sometimes these owners circle the wagons, and you find yourself on the outside looking in forever when you decide to have a conscience. You know what I mean?
But let me read you something from an article about the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Watson's 1,020 passing yards ranked 23rd amongst the league's quarterbacks. His 5 touchdown passes are tied for 25th. His 61.3 completion percentage ranks 25th. His 76.6 passer rating ranks 28th. And he's been sacked league high 31 times.
Wow.
Highest paid quarterback in the league, right? Or top 5. Just throwing it out there. It's not what you should be getting.
Terrible. Let's move away from this game and talk about 2 really good quarterbacks. Like talk about
This could be a Super Bowl preview 1 year down the line or something.
this was great. Washington, they tried. They did their best. Wasn't good enough. They lost to the Ravens 30-23. In a game that, even though 30-23 sounds close, this game never really felt that close.
No.
Not quite the barn burner that we had predicted, but
we hit the bet though. We bet the over 51.
we did. But this to me was probably the most complete performance by the Ravens
Yes.
all year.
Yeah. Scary.
It was tight at first. And it had all of the elements that you would need for one of those typical late game collapses by the Ravens that they're known for. But Lamar kept his foot on the gas. He just kept hitting. Zay Flowers, 9 targets, 9 receptions, 132 yards. Mark Andrews finally got a touchdown.
Yes, he's on my fantasy. Jeez Louise, I jumped up out of the room for that one.
Yep. Derrick Henry had another 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. They closed the game out in style.
And the Commanders looked good.
Exactly. Jayden Daniels looked great. It's not like he got humbled or anything.
I thought he would.
But he did get a front row seat. That he's still got he got a front row seat to the lesson that he still got a little distance to travel before we crown him as the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he's lit up the league. I can't tell you how many articles that I've read in the past couple of weeks where it's like, should we be considering him as the first rookie MVP since Jim Brown? And it's like, everybody calm down.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson is still him. Okay.
Yes.
Just relax.
There's other quarterbacks too out there, man. There's still Patrick Mahomes and
everybody wanted this to be the pointing Spider-Man, and Lamar was like, no.
Nah.
No.
I'm that dude.
He's not. I'm Spider-Man. He ain't Spider-Man. I don't know what he is, but he ain't Spider-Man.
What about Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert is like, what superhero is he? He's not.
The Green Goblin the Green Lantern?
I mean, he to be fair, I mean, he played pretty well.
Yeah.
Obviously he was the better quarterback on the day for sure. He was quite efficient. He didn't they don't really have the kind of receiver core that they need to light up the league, I don't think.
They used to have it, but they let Keenan Allen. They kind of
they just gave everybody away.
Yeah.
This game started in a fairly bizarre fashion as we all watched Jim Harbaugh go into the blue medical tent, leaves the game shortly thereafter. They're reporting that he has some kind of an illness and that they were talking about him like he was a player. He's questionable to return. I'm like, what are we doing here? It turns out it was
diarrhea,
heart arrhythmia, they said. I guess he has a problem where he has like an irregular heartbeat.
Okay.
Or something, and it's happened. It's kind of a new thing, and I guess I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of medication you can take for that, because he was back on the sidelines
Yeah.
Fairly quickly.
Yeah.
The Chargers really controlled this game for the most part. Wasn't it 23-0 when the Broncos finally woke up and started scoring some points. J.K. Dobbins, great game. I don't quite understand what's going on with the Broncos. Should have a good run game. They have legitimate running backs. Maybe Sean Payton needs to steal some pages out of that Shanahan run blocking scheme, because I just don't understand why Javonte Williams and Jaleel McLaughlin are combining for only 31 yards. I don't.
Well, if you're down 23-0, then you got to start throwing the ball more.
I know, but they should be capable of running the game the ball before they go down 23-0. Like I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get what's missing, but it's not.
Yeah, but if you go 3 and out, and then they score, and you go 3 and out, and they score, and all of a sudden you got to start throwing the ball more. Okay, I can see how it happened, but Bo Nix, he's fun to watch sometimes.
Oh yeah,
he got out on the scramble. I was like, wow, look at Bo Nix. And at the end, he started throwing some touchdowns.
If he's not your quarterback, yeah,
he's
exactly. Really fun to watch. But at the end of the day, he's 19 for 33.
Yeah.
So,
I got to do some math here. Okay, it's a little bit less than Deshaun Watson's yearly percentage. 57 to his 63.
Yeah. Next up, we got the Steelers beating the Raiders 32-13. Okay, the Aiden O'Connell era, it popped off like a clown car crashing into a light post. There was an interception, a goal line fumble, block punt, and a roughing the passer penalty that negated an interception and extended the Steelers' touchdown drive. This did not work for them. This switching of quarterbacks.
Are they going to switch back? It's like you just don't have a good quarterback on your roster. I'm sorry, man.
I honestly think. I mean, I think they keep him in there, probably.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, he's the rook. He's not a rookie anymore, but he's the younger. It's his second year. You got to. I mean, if you're going to make the switch, you got to give him time to figure out if he can develop into something. I personally don't think he can. They had a lot of problems stopping the run. Najee Harris ran around him. He ran through him. He ran over him. He finally had what was probably his best game of the season for sure. 106 yards and a touchdown.
Any business decisions out there?
We'll see. I mean, maybe. I don't know. For me, obviously the Steelers scored 32 points, but I can't get over that this can't be the version of the offense that they're looking for.
Steelers?
Yeah. I'm not. There's something. It feels
like Justin Fields is like slowly going back to his like he's himself,
This is what I was going to say. So obviously he rushed. He did a good job rushing the ball. He scored 2 touchdowns on the ground. But I feel like this is the conversation that you always bring up. Like, this guy can't see downfield.
Yep.
Once
they are who we thought they were.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't really see the field. Now we're getting these reports that Russell Wilson is healthy. Yeah. He's available. I don't expect them to make the switch after a win, but I have to say, I want to see it. I want to see.
Yeah.
I think most Steelers fans would probably tell you that too. Like, we don't know, but we want to see it. Like, kind of what
the
does.
Thing is, they got to blow somebody out too, man. So then they can see it without, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's a tough one. Because, like you said, it's hard to do it after a win, but it's hard to lose to the Raiders, too.
Exactly. I expect Fields to start next week. I think, I don't know who they play, but it just, you need to see it at some point. You got to see if he can unlock it.
Yeah.
Speaking of blowouts, wow. Wow. So crazy. Every time I look at the score.
Yeah. I think the Steelers have a bye week.
They're on a
That's
bye.
when it's time.
Interesting.
But yeah, this score was crazy. The Lions beat the Cowboys 47-9.
They boat raced the Cowboys in Dallas on Jerry Jones's 82nd birthday. Okay. Largest home loss in Cowboys history. The perfect trifecta, where the rules in this scenario are very clear. You do all of these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Lions are officially America's team.
Ooh.
The Lions are now America's team. Sorry, Cowboys. They took it from you.
Oh.
It came at a pretty steep price, however. Losing what was arguably the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, Aiden Hutchinson, who had a very scary fracture. Based on the reports I read, it was a complete, full-on compound fracture that actually broke the skin, like one of those horrible.
Oh.
Needed immediate surgery, done for the year. There's all these people saying, he could be back.
Arm or what? I didn't even.
It was his leg. They're like, he could be back for the Super Bowl. I'm like, stop it. Just stop.
Yeah. I couldn't look. I couldn't look either. I haven't seen it. I didn't even know where I just saw the when they were talking about it, and I was just like, not gonna figure this out. I like him too, man. He's a fun player he's easy to root for. And I was just like, I'm not gonna see this. There's a few I haven't seen. I haven't seen the Chubb thing. I'm not looking at this one.
Terrible performance all around by the Cowboys. They couldn't run the ball again. That continues to be a problem. Dak was 17 for 33, 178 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. Just one of them was just a dreadful end zone pick. The Cowboys are kind of a joke right now.
Yeah,
I have to say, which most people in the league are celebrating that.
They're a love-hate team, and most people right now fall on the hate side. But putting up 9 points, I mean, it's just like, as Charles Barkley said.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what else to say. Go Lions though, 4-1.
Yeah.
And go Falcons, 4-2, man. NFC South is out here showing out.
We run the South.
Yeah.
38-20, we beat the Carolina Panthers. I was so pissed off when I went to bed at halftime.
Right.
So pissed. Falcons were cruising.
Put up 17 points.
Two score lead, which was exactly what I was hoping for. Because I usually watch the late games until about midnight, and then I go to bed.
Yeah.
And then we give him a little bit of life. We let the Red Rifle slip out of a sack where we had him dead to rights. It was kind of a Matt Ryan type sack. You know what I mean? Like we were about to sack him out of field goal range. He slips away, makes a play. Before you know it, they're in the end zone. I was like, God damn it. So, but I went to sleep. Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier went into the locker room and they said, yo, we can't do this to Skiff. Okay, let's make sure our guy over in Sweden wakes up with a smile on his face. And that's what they did. And I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Both of them had both Algier and Robinson had over 100 all-purpose yards. Algier had a touchdown. Bijan had 2 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts looked pretty good. London looked great. It's nice to see your team win in different ways from one week to the next. Like last week, it took 500-something yards passing from Kirk Cousins, and this week it was just ground and pound your way through the second half. Yeah. Make the adjustment. Make the necessary adjustments at halftime and come out and dominate the game, which is pretty much what they did. We're 4-2, 3-0 in the division. The Bucs are right on our heels, but we do have a chance to punch them in the mouth again in a few weeks. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it's genuinely fun to be a Falcons fan again. I kind of hesitate to say it, but I because I obviously still expect them to fuck this up somehow.
It doesn't feel like a more steady ship.
It does. It does
Right?
feel.
It doesn't feel steady with Raheem Morris.
You know, it's funny. We started off the year last year 3-0 by some weird stroke of luck, but it never felt real. I was like, this is not real. This feels real. That being said, I still have a fair amount of PTSD that comes with just being a Falcons fan in general.
Yeah.
So I'm whatever. But this is good. This is our first win. We bet on them to cover the spread, which they haven't done all year, and they did it. Which is what they were supposed to do. So thank you for that, Falcons.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. You could be a Giants fan
That's true.
who lost 7-17 to the Bengals, and Anarumo, they kept showing him on the camera. He's back, I guess, right? Shutting the team down.
guess so.
That's what we're supposed to do, especially second half. Second half is normally what they do, but they did give up points in the second half. But they're only giving up 7 points in the entire game. Let the offense only need to score 17. It's nice.
Look, the good news for the Giants is that your D line is legit. The bad news is your quarterback is ass.
53% or 54% on the game.
I just think they're going to be one of those teams. You know what I mean? One of those plucky teams that's going to lose most of their games, but they might box above their weight class at some point and win a couple here and there. Like it's just they're one of those weird. It kind of remind me of the Cardinals a little bit. Like you just never really know what's going to happen. It was not a pretty game, obviously. Still counts. Shout out to Joe Burrow for that 47-yard touchdown run dive at the end.
Oh yeah,
that's a sign of a desperate man who's doing everything to win right there. So you know that was pretty cool because they couldn't really run the ball super well either because of that Giants defense.
Yeah.
But yeah. The Bengals are in this weird spot where it's like it's kind of hard to celebrate a win because you realize week after week you're kind of all out of rope as far as like how much room you have to make a mistake. Like you can't afford to lose any more games at this point. Like you just one fuck up and it's like your chances of making the playoffs just plummet at that point. There's still a chance. Obviously, they keep stacking wins, but it's like there's just no room for error anymore.
They got a pretty easy stretch coming up, too. They're playing the Browns. I guess not the Eagles. That's a little tougher, but they're playing the Browns. Eagles are beatable, and then they're playing the Raiders. Okay, then the Ravens. Then the Chargers. Steelers, they could beat them. Cowboys look beatable. Titans, you know what I'm saying? They got some games ahead of them. They play the Browns twice, too.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, they got some. They can pull it out. Losing just 2 more games, then they're, they'll probably lose more than that. But they can come out of there with seven losses, 10-7. We'll see.
Yeah, it's possible.
Tell Saga don't hang it up yet.
Yeah. She's ride or die. She's all in.
And that's the same record right now, 2-4, as the Jets. So they still got a chance, right? We don't have that same optimism for the Jets, do we?
So you're saying there's a chance? Yeah, sure. Bills beat the Jets. Monday Night Football, 23-20. Look, the Jets fixed a lot of their offensive problems, right?
Nate, do you know they removed Nathaniel Hackett from play calling responsibilities?
I do know that, yeah.
That's so funny.
If they have a kicker, they win this game. They missed 2 field goals in this game. To me, this is like, I know that this is like kind of a minute thing, but to me, this is the true sign of a dysfunctional franchise. Your inability to recognize that the little things are just as important as the big things. I mean, you go out, you get Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. You basically hand the team over to him. He brings in all of his buddies. Defense is balling out game after game for multiple seasons in a row. But you fire the defensive-minded head coach who built this lights-out defense, right? The offense just isn't clicking. So let's not only fire the defensive head coach, let's replace him with the defensive coordinator because that makes sense, right? Because the offense is the thing that's broken, right? So he's going to fix that. What happens? You just had your second game in 3 weeks that could have been a win, but turned out being a loss because you continue to ignore the fact that you have a shit kicker.
Who used to be one of the tops in the league, though, but he's older now. But
2 weeks ago, that game against the Broncos, that terrible game against the Broncos.
Yeah, he missed the kick.
Robert Saleh doesn't get fired if that guy makes that kick.
Good point.
It just doesn't happen. So, yeah. Because this is a winnable game. You held the Bills to 23 points, right? It's right there. The game is there for the taking. And their kicker had a hard night too. You just see that he had a missed, Tyler Bass missed an extra point. Like it looked like, I don't even know what to say. Like you could have put 2 field goals together and he still would have missed it. Like it was crazy. It just like, he just hooked it. He hooked it to the left. It was the worst. I'm like, what is happening in this game? It's like some kind of weird kicker disease. It was terrible. And just imagine how much of a gut punch it is that everyone's bitching about the Jets offense, right? Rodgers comes out, has a fairly decent night. Breece Hall rushes for 113 yards. Hadn't done that all year, right? You have 2 receivers with over 100 yards receiving, both of them with touchdowns.
They peaked.
And
their offense peaked in a loss.
And you still lose this football game. It doesn't make any sense.
Damn.
So
maybe you're meant to lose.
Born to lose.
Yeah, man. That was week 6, man. It's in the books, and all of those. We called every game right in our picks.
That's shocking.
Yeah, man.
I feel like we're the real MVP.
I almost said that as the real MVP, but my real MVP is actually Jordan Love.
Nice.
Yeah, he came out and he put it together in a victory, throwing for 4 touchdowns, 22 for 32. So that's better than Deshaun Watson's percentage. I don't know the actual math, but it feels like more than 60%. Only 1 pick and just leading the team, man. We didn't know if he was going to be able to do it. I'm not going to do all the hyperbole of him being the best, but this week he just made it look good in a blowout victory of the Cardinals. So to that, I have to say, you're the real MVP. I can't find the button, so I'm going to do that.
You're the real MVP.
We're in the same church, just a larger pew. I'm going to go with the entire NFC North. Vikings are 5-0. Lions are 4-1. Bears are 4-2. Packers are 4-2. All 4 teams have had remarkable starts to the season.
Yeah.
Watching
Put some
how
respect on my name.
watching how this is all going to shake out in the end is it's must-see TV, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Best division of football, NFC North. Never thought I would ever say that out loud.
Nope.
So
It might be we haven't seen before, and now that there's 7 teams going in, it is possible for an entire division to make it into the playoffs. And this might be the first year that happens, especially in the NFC, which is the rest of the teams. It seems like they're kind of weak. The rest of the divisions, they're only going to put 1 forward, possibly. The NFC North might just put them all in.
Yeah, especially in the NFC. You're right about that.
Yeah. Who's your trash?
My trash is Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, under 200 yards. The run game is still shit. The defense is shit. I mean, this bullshit from Jerry Jones about being, quote, all in this year.
They're all in the trash.
If I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm demanding he step aside from his GM duties, effective immediately. And frankly, I can actually see this getting worse. They might be the most valuable franchise in the NFL, but on the field, they are not worth the fucking toilet paper that they used to wipe that bullshit out of Jerry Jones's mouth. The biggest mistake Dak Prescott made was signing that contract extension. If he waited, he could have signed with just about any other team in the NFL. But now he's stuck with this dumpster fire of hot, flaming trash. So yeah, the Cowboys are my flaming trash.
You are trash.
And
A shit bowl brought to you by X-Lax.
because they're also my trash. My trash is America's team. You have got to be kidding me that this is what our national team is. But then it makes sense when you compare it to America as a country right now.
It's true.
A presently trash country deserves a trash team. Hopefully the country pulls itself together quicker than the Cowboys, because it's probably going to take a while for the Cowboys to no longer be trash, but we'll see about that. Cowboys could only muster together 9 points against the usually dismal Lions defense. Dak out here throwing for under 200 yards and over 1 pick. And then Cooper Rush come in. Oh, no. Then Cooper rushed in and threw his own pick. And the defense got run out of Jerry's world, giving up damn near 500 yards. I'm not overreacting, but blow it all up. It's time. Start from scratch. Get a GM, a real GM. Get a top coach. Get new coordinators. Replace the janitor. Fire the parking lot attendants. Why?
You are trash.
Wow. Coming in off the top rope there. I love that.
My shit got learned. Brace yourself, Skip. I got a new favorite player in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Baker motherfucking Mayfield. Yes, I gave him a new nickname. His new nickname is motherfucking. I didn't realize that I love this man, but I really do. There's this video out there with him being an undercover diehard fan of the Bucks, and he gets to hang out with some fans that are going to learn about football and stuff like that. They're going to get a tour of the stadium and the facilities. And he's dressed up in the mustache, acting like he's got a knee problem, and he keeps talking about how he used to be a good football player. And they're just like, oh man, it's all these crazy diehard fans. And it's a series that what's his name, Eli Manning does on YouTube. It's really fun, where he gets players to be undercover and do stuff like try out for a high school team, and it's like Jared Goff, like killing.
That's funny.
So he's dressed up. They get these makeup artists dress him up, and he seems like a genuinely down to earth dude. And I'm really glad that he didn't get cast aside like many of the Browns draft picks do. If you think about it, over the last couple decades, it's like it's where you go to die. Your career goes to die. But he survived it. He got out of Cleveland. He revived his career, being a semi-journeyman, going into the Rams, giving them a little spark, going to the Carolina Panthers, getting kicked out of there after giving them a little spark. He persevered and is now arguably the best quarterback in the NFC. Yes, I said it. He's arguably the best quarterback in the NFC. And add that to his personality, and now I get why they tried to sell him so hard when he first came into the league. It's because he's the fucking best. That's the shit got learned. Baker motherfucking Mayfield is the best.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. Watch that thing, man. Everybody out there, go to YouTube and watch. It's called Undercover. It's Eli Manning's Undercover. And it's so cool, man. Especially when he does the reveal, when he pulls the face off. And they're like, oh my. And they have been writing letters to their favorite player. So people had written letters and they were reading their letter to him. And he's standing there. He doesn't know that, they don't know that they're talking to Baker right next to them.
That's funny.
And it's all like fan stuff. I really hope you make it through, man. Come on, you can lead us to the promised land. That's so cool.
He is. I agree. I think he deserves a lot of respect for the way that he's revived his career.
Yeah, I pushed back on it when they tried to force feed him, like how they did Tebow. I was like, man, fuck this guy.
He has consistently bet on himself, and now he's in a good spot. So
and the team loves him. Team, you can tell. You got the locker room.
They should. My shit got learned. I'll be quick. Since being traded to the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson has settled more sexual assault lawsuits than he has thrown touchdown passes. 23-19.
Wow. And he did all right last year too. That's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm. I learned that this week.
Damn. You put any spec out there?
Yeah, I'm going to put some spec on Chris Godwin from the Bucks. We always talk about Mike Evans.
Yes.
But Godwin is currently third in receiving, just behind Jamar Chase and Nico Collins.
Wow.
He's tied for the most touchdown catches on the year for wide receivers. He had a not so great 2023, but then the Bucks decided to move him more into the slot this year, and Godwin is just cooking. You watch this guy, and it's like, ignore this man at your peril while everyone's out here talking about Evans. And while the defense is out here chasing after Baker Mayfield, Godwin is just, he out here standing on business. This guy is just tearing it up. People need
Put some respect on my name.
Exactly.
All right. Mine's quick too, man. Caleb Williams. This guy's been getting better every week. There's an urge, like I was just talking about the Baker Mayfield and Tim Tebow. There's these players that they push down our throat. They've been pushing Caleb Williams down our throat since last year. I didn't even like the way that he was kind of like threatening the league with staying in college. So he didn't start off on a good note with me at first because of all of the hype and everything. But then he comes into the league and he's steadily getting better. He seems like a team guy. He's got a little bit of rah-rah in him, and he cares. You could tell he cares on the sidelines after he throws a pick. He's over there beating himself up. Don't do it too much, Caleb. You got to forget it. But I'm impressed. Throwing for the first time, he threw his first 4 touchdown game, and gradually getting better. You can see him. It seems like the game's slowing down for him. So if he didn't get the respect yet,
Put some respect on my name.
I think he's already has the second most passing yards of any Bears rookie quarterback ever.
that makes
Like he's
sense.
only played. He's only this is a franchise that famously has never had a good quarterback.
Right,
ever.
putting faith. Yeah, they never, especially
they
they
don't-
put faith in them.
That's not where they put their first round money. They
Nah.
usually put it on defense.
Yeah,
But I think that's fascinating.
yeah.
I mean, he's 6 games in and he's already.
It shows that they've been focusing on the wrong shit, and no championships to boot. The scariest AFC team, which is also the scariest team in the NFL, is the Ravens. Most balanced and terrifying team out there.
Agreed. No
And
debate here.
My scariest NFC team is Lions. Who you got?
Also, same.
Yeah, man. So I don't know if anybody notices our little theme, but our cover art on our episodes is the colors of those teams that we pick as our scariest.
Oh, I didn't notice that. You know what? I've been meaning to say you have very much stepped up your cover art game,
Thanks.
and I haven't mentioned it. We haven't talked about it. It's just something you just decided to do, and I've noticed it, and I've been like, "Wow, that looks cool." Shit, what's that?
Yeah, I use our official NFL colors on everything. If you see your team's colors, then that means we think they're the scariest team in the league, in their conference. Yes.
I don't know. Falcons are currently the number 2 team in the NFC.
Hey man, you didn't say it just now when we said it. We said the Lions, all right?
I'm just saying we're sneaky good.
We'll see, man. Hang in there, Falcons. Our pigskin pick'em leader, Alexander, still holding strong, but David DT Weaver is holding it down right now. Second place, right on your tail, Alexander. So watch out. I'm in 6th place because I did forget one week, so I'm still coming up for y'all. But I dropped off. I was 3rd. Somebody had 14 right last week.
Nice.
Maybe they should have put ours. They should have done the picks that we do.
I should have put ours. Like
We went 7-7 because we all and flip 'em pick 'em because we got everything right. So
crazy.
all right, man, that was a fun one, man. That means it's time to wrap it up. That's been week 6 of the NFL is in the books, and stay tuned as we preview week 7 coming up soon. as we do. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. It's been Jonathan Rollins
Skiv Mizora.
with SveNFL. Peace.
Later, y'all.
Get serious.